So let me start with the new topic called as flowchart. For the same program, how we can draw a flowchart is for the start and end diagram, we are using a symbol called as oval shape. And for reading numbers, we are using parallelotrapezium. And for logic, we are using a rectangle. And again, for displaying purpose, we are using the trapezium here. Introduction to C language. C is nothing but this is the basic language, which is a basic programming language where it was created by Dennis Ritchie in the year 1970, and it is the foundation for all the languages. Say, for example, C++ or Java, in the field of computer programming. So normally, to start with C, you should learn about a compiler. We have many compilers like Lang, Microsoft Visual CPP, GCC, and a text editor or integrated development environment. You will write a C code in a source file with a .c extension, which is then compiled into machine code that can be executed on your computer. So next is, what is the structure of a C program? So let me see the basic structure of C program, which has 6 parts. The first part is called as the documentation section, preprocessor section, definition section, global declaration, main function, and the last is called as the subprogram. So let me move on to the first section, which is documentation. Documentation is nothing but if you are writing some 1,000 programs, you are creating some 1,000 programs, and if you want to give a title for your program, we can use this documentation section, which is an optional one, where you can create the date, time, name of the program, what is the programmer name, like that. So this is the first section where you can give the description here. And second is preprocess directive, where your header files or library files will be there, helps us to access others' improved code into our code. So the default preprocessor director is called as hash include stdio.h, that is standard input output.h, and math.h is there, and con.io, that is console input output.h is there. And the next is, what it will actually do is, it will just link those functions which you are writing in the program, which will be stored in that header files. Say, for example, if I am using hash define, which is also one of the preprocessor directive, where I am using a variable name called as pi, which is assigned a value called as 3.14. What it will actually do is, wherever it is seeing pi variable in the program, it will just replace with what? 3.1415. And the next is global declaration. Global declaration, we have two types. One is local declaration and global declaration. Whatever the variable you are declaring inside the main function, those things are called as local, and which are all you are keeping it above the main function is called as the global declaration. Once if you have declared anything in globally, in all the functions you can use the variable, whereas what all the variables within main function can be accessed within that main function, which can't go beyond the main function. The scope will be within that main function. And the next is main function, where your execution starts. Main function, which will have a return type as void or integer. If it is an integer, it should return a value here. If it is void, it is null, doesn't need to return anything. The next is subprograms, or I can say is as user-defined functions, which is the one of the section of the C program structure. So this is the user-defined function where we can write it on our own. We have int sum. I'm just going to add two numbers, that is x plus y. You can pass argument from the main function and it will receive the subfunction. Directly in the return statement, you can add two numbers, x plus y. So far we have seen about the structure of the C program, and what are all the 6 parts it comprises of. Starting from declaration, you have preprocessor, you have main function, you have global declaration, and you have subprograms. So in the next video we will see about the data types in C.